hearing me loud and clear?
Yep.
I think, let me set my headphones. Okay. I'm still listening to you on speakers.
Much clearer. Yes. Much clearer.
Wrong microphone setting lah.
No one. How lah?
Hey, you got an early day tomorrow?
Yeah, but I mean, no, don't worry about it. We can just go on. Yeah, we can just go on.
Hey, after go on 2-3 hours, then
It's all good.
No lah. Usually won't go super long lah, like 1 hour-ish or so.
For you, man, it's all good.
Well, you are number 2. You're going to be the second one.
Oh, who's the first?
I spoke to Chris. Chris was the first.
I
guess eventually I'll get to all 4 of the rest of the band. But not all at once lah, so one by one first, I'll stagger it with other people.
Right.
Otherwise people bored lah. It's like, hey, why one by one all Pop Shuvit member ni tak ada benda lain ke? Hey, but thanks man for taking your time to do this.
Hey, all good man. Anytime.
It's just going to be a casual chit chat lah.
Yeah.
No agenda, no real agenda, but I will lah. They will cover some things lah. I want to ask you lah about lah.
You know who you should talk to? Maybe you should try and connect with Jonathan C. He's been spending like the past few months in LA.
When did he go to LA?
Yeah. I mean, it's quite low key thing. He's been there for a few months already now, but I think he's coming back. He's coming back soon.
The last time I saw him, but that was like here lah, in KL lah.
Yep.
He was building his networks and doing something. So, but I know he went back to KK first, right?
Yep.
But I didn't know that he already...
Yep. He was building his macam-macam music for a while, I think. He was stationed at just nearby the studio in Taman Tun.
Yep. He was working out of
Nick Lee's Faisal Tahir's that space lah.
Now Aizat has taken over Kasih Gegar.
Yes. Yep.
So that place has changed owners like how many times already, I can count already.
Yep.
At 19, then Nick, not Purple Nose pula. What's that?
It's crazy how everything goes back to Nick. Even the place we're in, at least like this particular space there's no change of hands.
Yeah, still this little community lah. Hey, how's everything going lah? Last I saw you was what? 2 months.
Oh, that was I think the last is
you were doing the recording
before MCO 3.0 kicked off lah.
Actually, during, right? Hey, we're doing the recording. I don't give a shit, man. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was that one time. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were doing finish up the song lah.
Yeah, our supposedly upcoming single. Can't wait for that, man.
Yeah,
can't wait for that.
Yeah, I did already. So now just waiting for Rudy to drop something. And then Mutsuan comes back and redo his vocal. Then hopefully this week lah.
Yep. I mean, like, I was tinkering on it back for actually, like, since you sent me those files, right? Thinking of, like, because the dynamic has changed and I think it sounds so much better now. I'm still trying to kind of like figure like what I want to do with it in terms of like, should I wait for Mutz's new performance, or because he wants to redo everything, right?
The verse only lah, he said.
Yeah, the verse lah. No, I'm still tinkering on it lah. It's like dynamically, it's just I just don't want to like adding things just for the sake of trying to add things.
Yeah, I mean, I personally actually I really kind of like the way it is. I like the contrast.
Yeah.
With the beat and the way they delivers it, cool. But I guess no harm trying.
Yep. I mean, like, I agree with you. I don't see no harm trying lah. To be honest, it's like for me, it's kind of like the last one that you sent, that was kind of like okay, you know, because if there's anything like my approach lately has been kind of like really trying to capture the moment instead of getting it like repolishing it, trying to get to that that level of perfection that we not envision, or it's like I try not to polish too much these days. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you mean lah. Sometimes we're guilty of trying to make everything tune, everything perfect, everything. But there's something special beauty about how raw and imperfect it
exactly
can be lah.
And you kind of like it goes back to where we started as well. I mean, like, but then again, because we obviously at that time we had someone else polishing our shit.
Yes, indeed.
Right? Yeah. But to be honest, it's like just observing the I wouldn't call them kids. Just observing the generation now, right? Like, it's amazing. It's like, it's although I don't really understand that much of the music, but you can see that right now it's all about catching moments and vibes. And like, of recent, I get to kind of like I have the privilege to kind of like work with some of them, and I kind of like have to not rewire, but I rediscover this sense of appreciation of just being in the moment, you know. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's insane in a way that I think largely also because the technology that we have right now facilitates that kind of approach.
It's I guess so lah. How to say? I think this whole thing, obviously, we always complain and say that nowadays attention span is not so long lah. But sometimes could be a good thing, in terms of we focus more on the moment. And sometimes it does result in amazing stuff lah.
Yep. It just means like more people have access to do things and to capture things and to create things.
Yeah, and it doesn't take like 6 months or 1 year to do.
Yeah. Oh, I remember those days, man. I used to slug it out, carry our stuff. I remember we used to go to Bakri's place, we used to go to Akakaria.
Yep.
And I was literally like, like intense physical sessions just to get to the studio to rehearse.
Yeah, for you, it was harder for you, I think, because you stay far away. But I was from around Ampang area, so it's nearer lah, going
and
down.
I had to carry all my stuff. And set it up, plug, unplug, repack, But it was good lah. It was good.
Yeah.
I treasure every bit of it.
Indeed, man. Yeah. Hey, I mean, now they're kind of like, you can see they're chatting in the group right now, the EA group, the boys. So you're seeing their conversation, and then obviously you saw the video not for Jame's new song single.
Yep. I saw bits and pieces. I didn't see like the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the link, I already saw it. I watched it already this afternoon.
Yeah.
But I had to prepare myself. Man, I had to like, it's like I couldn't like just watch it. I had to like, okay, let me find a place.
Yeah.
It was after lunch. I came here. I had to find like, okay, quiet time, nothing, and then only I sat down and watched the video lah. And obviously, it's emotional lah to hear stuff that he had been working on come to fruition and come to life lah.
Yep. That's
you haven't watched it, right?
No. I mean, one of the reasons why I haven't watched it is because the same as you, I wanted to have the right space and time, because today was a bit hectic with the family for me. So I kind of like don't want to, I want that really kind of like, okay, just want to be in the moment and really appreciate this.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
So I won't spoil it for you. I won't spoil it for you then. Okay. Go and watch it. But it's awesome lah, and
Yep.
obviously because he's such a a friend and a close brother to all of us. It means so much lah.
Yep.
Whew. All right, man.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, but it's good. But I mean, yeah, it's good to talk about these sort of things lah. You know, I've learned quite a lot of stuff. I've learned because I read and watched a lot of videos about people who have suffered and gone through things such as mental health issues, mental problems, and then also obviously suicide itself. And listening to those stories, son, it's made me realize that wow, actually there's actually a lot of things that man we don't realize, man. And I think it's important to talk about it lah.
I guess the past 2 years kind of like really exacerbate a lot of things, but it also opens up a lot of a lot of avenues, and people are becoming more and more aware of these things. I mean, like, to be honest, bro, I know it's like, even like, I feel for you. Like, to be honest, I don't know how you do it. Like, like you being away from your family. Like, for me, that's super tough, man. Seriously, super tough. I can't imagine what kind of level of strength is needed to actually do what you're doing. You see, but
Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess a lot of people have asked me that. I mean,
yeah,
you guys have asked me that as well. Um, but the couple of things would be like for me lah is number one, me and Noi, both of us, we're not a young couple anymore. We are
yep,
so we're lucky in the sense that we're both mentally and emotionally mature lah.
yep,
Yeah. And the second factor is um second factor is it's also kind of already sort of a long-term plan that we had because my kids got one more year of kindergarten, you see, so there is something to look forward to lah,
yep.
like a 1 year thing lah. So next year hopefully when everything goes back to normal.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like whatever support you need, bro. We're all here. It's more of like really looking at the light at the end of that tunnel, lah. There's, like you said, lah. It's good that you guys are, both of you, and I are in the place where both are matured enough, and you guys have a goal and shared goal to look forward to.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, I don't know whether I told you this. It's the same situation as my brother-in-law, like Jamie's brother, like the one of a brother who actually married to, his wife is from China.
Ah.
Yeah, so she's in Ningxia, which borders Mongolia, and the same thing, she actually went back to see her parents, brought the kid, he has a kid, for Chinese New Year or something, right before the pandemic hit. So it was supposed to be like maximum 1 month stint, just meeting the parents and whatnot. And he was supposed to kind of like go and meet them, halfway through and go there. And then boom, the entire lockdown, the entire pandemic happened. And he has not seen them since. I was like, God damn. It's like, it's like, there's just like 2 years gone, but I guess it's like when you're in it, then you kind of like, okay, you have to go through it. And I think the most important thing is like making sure that, you're surrounded by people who can also kind of like give you support in a sense lah.
I mean, obviously they're still in communication lah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier. It's thankfully now it is easier nowadays. You can You can video call.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. At the very least, thank God for that lah. Right?
I can't imagine. I've been hearing, stories of how in the old days people had to write letters.
Yep.
Actually physically write a letter, go to a post box, mail it, and you might not even hear for weeks or months until you get it.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that if the letter arrives, if it's not like eaten by a dog somewhere or
Eaten by a dog.
by
I try to
lah.
picture that, eaten by a dog. Yeah.
No, it's like I've always had this, the common nuances of like postmen being chased by dogs.
Oh, okay. How's Jamila? How's the baby? Well,
Good.
she's not a baby anymore.
Yep. She's not
that's the thing.
anymore. It's
In
like
my
so
mind,
fast.
right? Cheetah and Moose's daughter also, right? It's like in my mind still baby. And then I think when I actually see that, we'll be like, huh? So big
Yeah.
already?
Exactly, because obviously we have not, the kids have not seen a lot of outside world for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the only thing, for us, it's like everything kind of like evolves around the kid nowadays. It's tough. It's actually tougher on the parents, I feel.
Same lah. I feel you.
Because because kids are kids, as long as they have room to jump around and burn their energy, they'll go with the flow.
Yeah.
But we as the parents know that they are deprived of the natural growing environment that we used to have.
The interaction with
other kids,
people around you, other
people
kids.
around, the outside world. It's definitely like
it's weird, it's weird.
It's definitely a weird time, but we try our best. So, practically our house is like a mini jungle gym.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's all we do, man. It's like, okay, you can't go to the playground, we'll buy the playground to you. So you get like, the slides, you get like, we have the trampoline right in the middle of the living room. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, like 50-60% of the house is just like playground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like wow, I can't imagine what the experience is going to be like for the children now lah.
Yep.
Young kids growing up now in this environment lah.
Yeah.
This past 2 years or so,
Yep.
1.5 years, coming out to 2 years.
Yep. Well, my only take on that is, I feel that what do you call that? Kind of like, in a way, thank God that it's a universal like thing. It goes on everywhere. So you're not just have like a certain section or just a bunch or a group of kids that is being deprived. It's essentially like across, so a silver lining here is like we are all experiencing the same thing. Okay. So when they kind of like, and again, thank God we have technology nowadays. So there is still some sort of, bridge there, not being cut off entirely and isolated, So I just like to think that we make the best out of what we are handed, whatever that's handed to us.
Yep. True lah.
Yeah. Weird times, man.
How's your I mean, so you spend a lot of time, you work from home now, but obviously I don't see you in the studio as we used to last time.
Yep.
What's your daily schedule like lah now?
Well, I try to keep a pretty consistent schedule the best I can. One thing that I kind of like really, really make it compulsory for myself is, is really kind of like, we're both not young anymore. We're not that, 19, 20 years old kid anymore. You know,
What?
we're
We're not?
in our heart, yes, you know. But we're in our 40s already, so taking care of yourself is very, very important. So normally I like every day, almost every day, if not every day, I will start my day with like, you know, with with working out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that, man. And I see your Instagram post, man, every morning.
Yeah, I try to.
The inspirational post from Uno.
Well, to be honest, I sometimes it's just I pose because I get not bored. It's just that okay, it's like okay, whatever. Because there's not much thing else that I post whatever I want, lah, you know. But it's being isolated and kind of like constricted. So I'm not like one of those like influencer style posting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a you know I
It's
have a
very it's you lah, it's you yourself just
yeah
sharing what
exactly.
you yeah,
It's just the bits and pieces of my life that I like to share once in a while. So
yeah.
I don't really see, you know, I don't know. I have this really love and hate relationship with social media. To be honest, I
Yeah.
I'll be frank with you.
No,
You
no,
know,
I feel you, man. Yeah, no, the
yeah,
same thing.
because it's like it or not, it's one of the biggest source of anxiety. You know, at least for me, yeah,
Mm.
at least for me. So it's like every time if I start like scrolling and I get the feel of uneasiness or you know,
Mm.
it's true. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes you just scroll and your heart just started beating so fast for no fucking reason. You know, and it's like okay, I know I gotta stop. And then I'll make it a point to myself like I won't go or I won't do anything on social media for at least a few hours or the entire day.
Mm.
You know, it's something that I wouldn't say it's easy. It's hard. You know,
Yeah.
it's like but over time, like I said earlier, like the what the pandemic has kind of like can bring this awareness to the forefront, even for me, for myself. So whenever I catch, I become more aware, and whenever I catch myself feeling like that, then I kind of like put a stop to it. I had to literally say it out with my word. It's like, hey, dude, stop. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can like just put it down and go and do something else or do whatever. And the workout helps. Like for me, that's my personal me time before, you know, getting into everything else, before getting into the whole adulting and shit.
Are you mostly on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do you spend a lot of time on the other platforms at all?
I tried to. I tried to. Uh, for the sake of knowing, because of my previous role and my previous work, you know, in fact, even when I was in Astro, requires me to know these things, right?
Mm.
To know the fundamentals, the technicalities, the mechanics behind these things, right? And to keep up. So I kind of like it has become a habit to kind of like you know
Mm.
just being in the know. But to be honest, it's crazy, man. Seriously, even if you there are a lot of studies out there, right? One of the most high anxiety and pressured job in the world is what? Just give a wild guess.
Influencer? Social media manager?
Well, that's close. That's also actually quite a high pressure job.
Ah.
It's the Facebook content moderators.
As in those who what? Those admins.
Yeah,
Oh.
those are hired. You know, I mean, like, don't talk about the group admins and whatnot, not unofficial admins.
Ah.
Like Facebook hired like a
Right.
huge bunch of people working just to moderate content,
Mm.
right? Just to moderate content that goes against their policies. That you know, so they need to catch like you know, like all these gory videos or you know, just like things that's not supposed to go on the platform, right? So it's like
Oh, okay,
there's
okay,
a
okay, okay.
whole lot of study like you know like those people who are hired suffers like PTSDs on the same level as the vets, as the army vets.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, man. If your job, you know, directs you to see all that shit and all the traumatic incidents, people accident lah,
Correct.
all the mayat dead body lah, all those things
Yeah.
that people love to
And not
share
just
lah.
the fights, all the hate speeches, all the all the unnecessary things that people just simply share or create for no reason, just to get like engagement and stuff like that. Wow, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
And
just for likes and views.
yeah,
Oh well.
yeah,
Cool.
but I mean,
Interesting.
like, yeah, that's that. So after like working out, then I'll go about my day. So the good thing is now one of the things that I appreciate is because we don't really go out, or there's not really a need to meet people outside and whatnot. So most of the time I spend with the family lah. So a few days, like like it'll be doing my work, just doing the production stuff or whatever that needs to be done, emails and whatnot. And then some of the days we'll do grocery run, and then I'll make it a point that by 5 or so, I'll shut everything off and just spend time and play with Chinta. That's how it has been, man, for the past 3 years. It's a blessing and also a curse at the same time. But I really like to look at it more as a blessing
Look on the bright
because
side or look on the bright
I
side of
was
things.
in a place where I'm trying to find ways to kind of like not get caught up so much with the rat race, and trying to find like how to kind of like really manage things and reshuffle my life so that I can spend more time with the family. So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise in to a certain point, you know.
Okay, right. Now I said there's no real agenda, but actually, I actually sent you a bunch of questions, lah. I'm not gonna
You
go through all of
lied.
it. I lied. Okay, no lah. It's just things that maybe I want to cover. You know, things that one of the main reasons why I kind of wanted to do this is that I call this a mixed chat because keeping in brand on point with the brand, I suppose. MixStream, MixBoy, MixChat, everything also mix. So yeah,
Rojak mix.
everything lah, rojak berperisa muhibah. I love that. Love the phrase.
I
We use
love
it.
that. Yeah, I love that.
You know, with people I work in this throughout the years of being in industry in the studio, you always talk with people you meet, the people you work with lah, the bands, the artists, the acts, and all that. Sometimes it's restricted. Most of the time, you only get to interact with them more on a professional basis. Sometimes, yeah, when there's time, we would hang out in a mama, or hang out in a mama or something like that. Oh, those were the days when you can hang out in mama. And maybe get to chit chat a little bit more lah. But it's hard to sit down really with people one on one and just
Yep.
chat and get to
Connect.
connect and get to know each other. Just talk
Yep.
about things. That's what I mean by when I say no agenda means that I don't really need to stick to like a formula of what I want to chat about.
Yeah.
So let's just go very quickly, all right? Through some of the things lah. But before that, I will show you something. I don't know whether let me share this photo with you. Okay. Can you see this or not?
Uh,
Do you see this, bro? This photo?
it's appearing. No, I don't. Wait. Okay. Yeah, it's coming.
Screen share.
It's coming. I can see. Oh.
Do you see what I see?
Yeah, man.
Can you tell me? I got this photo off from Faz's Facebook.
Yeah.
Can Can you tell me where was this? I mean, what comes to mind when you see this?
Oh my God. It's young and dangerous.
I see, of course, a young DJ Uno right there, front and center.
Yeah, man. It's well, this is Players Universe. So this is like the school for DJs. Actually, I think one of the first, definitely one of the best, because obviously I'm there. And as you can see, there's like Fuzz is there, Goldfish is there. There are a whole bunch of other DJs that is not in this picture right now.
Mm-hmm.
T-Bone was with us.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and Blink. Is it Farah, Daven is there, Raja. So this is a time where I was literally like fresh off high school,
Yep.
and there's that was like really good times. That was like actually like I think that was about the same time I got to know you guys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually from the school that I got to know you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like just the what do you call that? I was the last to join the band, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and I got to know from the school.
Yeah, I think we've told the story on our interviews before lah, but basically is this. It was firstly the five of us, including Point first, right? So we already were the ones that signed. We already signed with positive tone and everything, but we actually told them, hey, to complete the whole puzzle, the whole picture, we needed a turntablist. So yeah, so I think they contacted. How did they do? They contacted Players Universe, right?
Yep,
Yep. And then
yep.
through Players Universe, that's how they recommended. Hey, this new this DJ Uno. So I mean, back then we were like, didn't know what to expect, man. I didn't know what to expect. And then of course, there you came. Where did we first meet? It would have been, was it in Playtime?
Playtime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we were either doing a recording session or something.
correct.
Yeah.
I came in with my I brought in an Incubus tape cassette. That
Yes.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that Incubus cassette kind of like sealed the deal.
Yeah. The moment we saw that, oh, okay, all right, this DJ into Incubus, so okay, he knows where we are. So, was that a conscious
Yeah.
thing, or you like, or what,
Well, a bit of both.
Mm.
I really had no idea what to expect when I first met you guys, to be honest. But the idea of like actually being in a band really excites me,
Yeah.
because to be honest, like against the rest of like the DJs that was in Players Universe at that time, I had a slightly different upbringing and influence,
Mm.
because like I used to be like one of these kids who go to jamming studio after school, play drums, play
Yeah.
covers of Pearl Jams, Soundgarden, Nirvana, the usual stuff those times, and I, even though because I grew up in Klang, right? I was exposed to hip hop when I was in standard six. Yeah. So, but like in my journey of kind of like getting to study and to know hip hop more, I was also exposed to a lot of the rock stuffs,
Mm.
the indie stuff, the grunge stuffs, and there's not much of a hip hop circle around me at that time.
Yeah.
It was a very small group, and everybody else was just jamming in a band.
Yeah.
So I got into it as well, So I kind of like know the dynamic of being in a band, and also like knowing hip hop. So I don't pledge allegiance to any of the genre. you know. So I just like music, you know. I'm just kind of going with the flow. And when I first discovered like DJing, it's like when I was in standard six. So here's a very like funny story. Not funny lah, you know, but it's quite crazy, if you ask me. So when I was in standard six, right, I saw this competition called Asia Bagus. I'm sure you know Asia Bagus.
Yeah.
Asia Bagus was
Go ahead.
hosted
I think I've
by
heard you tell the
Najib
story,
Ali.
but go ahead.
Yeah. So during one of the episodes, there is this duo from Singapore called Construction Site, right? And they had a DJ. I had no idea what a DJ was at that time, but it looked so damn cool, you know? And for some reason, since that point, right? Since that point, I kind of like consciously know that I wanted to be a DJ. So ever since then, when people ask me, when my family or when my uncle, my auntie ask me like, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? The usual answers will be pilot, you know, doctors and whatnot. I will literally tell them I want to be a DJ. Yeah.
Wow.
And right off high school, right off like after like getting off school, right? I was just kind of like okay, bumming around before going to like, you know, getting to university and whatnot. It just so happened that I bumped into someone who knows someone that had a house party. So I went to that house party and I kind of like said, oh, I saw the DJ and I said literally wanted to learn how to DJ. And then that person told me, hey, a friend is starting a school. Like, you know, he knows someone who is starting a school, they're having a workshop at Sungai Wang Plaza that time,
Yeah.
you know, at Tower Records. I remember clearly, you know. So I was so excited. I went, you know, I picked up the brochure. I was like, literally, you know, by hook or by crook, I'm going to enroll myself in the school. I'm going to learn. I got no idea where I'm going to find the money, but I'll do it, you know. Yeah. And it just so happened the guy who actually started that school, which turns out to be Players Universe, was the very same guy that I saw on Asia Bagus when I was in standard six.
Oh. And what's his name?
His name is at that time his real name is Sunanda.
Right.
His
Yes.
real name is Sunanda, but at that point of time he was known as DJ Babyface. But now his name is he's just known as DJ Face. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like for me it's just whoa. It's like, you know, okay, this is God's word.
Yes.
This
It's meant
is
to be like it's
it's
destined.
meant to
It's
be.
destined.
Yeah. You know, it's meant to be. So I never looked back since. It's like, you know, it's like I didn't have the money. I managed to kind of like work part time and got enough money to enroll for the basic course. And then after that, I was just really scheming my way through learning all the advanced techniques. You know, to be honest, I spent all the money I can. You know, every day I could. I will travel all the way from Klang, took the bus all the way, walk. At that time, the school was in Wilaya Complex. So I walked from the bus stand all the way to Wilaya Complex, and I'll spend like every single day there. Just if if I'm not going to be able to enroll myself, I'm just going to stay there and churi whatever bit I can.
Just be around, just hang around there.
Yeah,
And all
just
that
hang
lah.
around. So I'm like I'm literally like fly on the wall. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I started. And I think after a while they kind of like they got really sick of me and it's like, you know what, okay lah, we'll teach you lah. You know.
Okay. Well, you were persistent, man. Determined. Yeah.
Yeah,
To be a DJ by hook or by
yeah,
crook, one way or the other lah.
yep.
So timeline. So that means after standard six, after UPSR, that was where you saw the where you saw
That's the first part.
the
That's
first part
the
with that, yeah,
yeah,
where you saw Asia Bagus. That's where the bug, you were bitten by the bug.
yep.
And then after that, you were Lim Kok Wing kan?
I went to UITM first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to UITM first. Then
Then
I
only
checked out that I went to Lim Kok Wing.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was around like I finished school about 98.
Yeah.
About that time, that's when I started joining Place Universe. I was in UITM juggling, and then I left for Lim Kok Wing. When I was in Lim Kok Wing, that's when actually I met you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then things
yeah.
kind of like started, the ball started rolling, things kicked off, and I kind of like made a decision, you know what? I'm gonna go all in.
And then here we are lah. Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2001 baby.
Yep.
20 years later.
Yep.
That's so cool, man. I mean, that's an amazing story. How everything goes back all the way to childhood, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, let me just run through some of the things that I wanted to ask you, lah. Like, if we talk about your gear, in talk about, it doesn't have to be DJ gear, it can be anything, right, related to music. What's your favorite piece of equipment lah, that you can't live without?
It's quite easy to answer that lah. It's not even really a musical piece. it's my laptop.
Oh, actually, yeah, okay, all right. That counts as well,
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah, I had a thought of this. It's like, okay, what can I do without? It's like, what would be the most, obviously, like, went through the whole turntable setup, the Technics. That's my most favorite piece of, turntables, next to Vestax PDX 2000, which is not in production anymore. But then again, looking at all the things, it's like, hey, you know what? This laptop here is very vital.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's what you can say lah. Yeah, definitely lah.
Yeah.
Your laptop or your computer.
Yep. Everything kind of like happens there right now.
What was the first DAW that you used lah? What's the first software you used?
It's I owe this to you actually. My first DAW was Cubase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw you were using it, and at that point of time, it's like I think Greg was using it as well, right?
Yeah.
Greg Henderson was using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was an obvious choice. I mean, like I was just in the period where I'm trying to absorb everything that I could. And I was like, okay, if these pros are using that, I'm going to use that. Then it evolves, you see. After that, it evolves. I went through a lot of like different AWs.
Yeah. I remember when we used to work on our album and some of the stuff. You and AJ also would be doing a lot of stuff on Reason.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So it's definitely because at that time, Reason provided the flexibility of really working with the MIDIs, that I find was a bit complicated trying to replicate on Cubase. But Reason can be also standalone, but we always use it as a rewire to Cubase. So the sounds and the arrangements all come from Reason. And the fact that Reason also have like it's unique because it replicates your typical studio specs.
Signal flow, right?
Yeah, and you can change the signal flow, you can change so that was like really kind of like wow, but it was really fun lah, and especially for me and AJ. At that point of time we were housemates for a few years.
Yes, definitely. One day I will get AJ on this, and then I will get to hear his side of the story lah.
Oh man, don't say, man. It's like my house was literally his music store. Like freaking out, 50% of the house was just his music instruments.
All his gear, all his stuff.
We literally had 2 drum sets in the living room. 2 drum sets that were set up facing each other. It was fun lah. Until today, I still can't. I'm still amazed thinking back, right? How tolerant our neighbors were. Our neighbors were to us. Because we would wake up and freaking like jamming on the drums together, and there was no sound pad, nothing. It was open space,
Yeah.
It's like, wow. It's like we survived that, right? And nobody complained about us.
No one called the cops or you or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You guys. Awesome, man. Yeah. I mean, fast forward now to present. I know that you use Logic right now, and it's no brainer lah. If you are someone who is on the Mac, Logic is the perfect choice lah. Right?
Yep.
You know, but do you still use Reason though?
No, I actually tried maybe about 3 years back. Just kind of like tried, but I found that I'm more comfortable with Logic. I went through the bout, I was on Ableton Live for a while,
Oh, right.
which is cool, but there's just something about Logic, like you said, like if you're on a Mac, Logic makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But for me personally, there's just something about Logic sound engine that I can't really explain. That it produces right straight from the box, like the texture and dynamic that I like.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just something about it lah. I tried it even like during the time when I was on Cubase. I was kind of like exploring Logic as well. But at that point of time, we're talking about maybe like 15, 16 years ago, right? It was the learning curve was so steep for Logic. I kind of like, you know what? Yeah, maybe not, But now it's wow, everything is so intuitive and it's amazing. It's an amazing DAW for me.
Yeah. Logic before Apple bought it over was also kind of like the other DAWs lah. So definitely, but they obviously when Apple bought it over, the way that they figured out the workflow, the GUI user interface, it's made it a lot more easier, a lot more accessible lah.
Yep.
That's why it's great for music creation lah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, man. Cool. I mean, so if we move forward now, if there's really any dream piece of gear lah, is there anything that you could envision that you would want to get? What's the next thing you want to buy lah? Yeah.
In a dreamy world, I think I will own an SSL board lah.
You can get like the small SSL 6 one, though.
Yeah.
That one.
in a dreamy world where we have like a full blown studio, But then again, I've kind of like grown out of that phase, Just for the sake of answering the question, I would say that. But I'm in a spot right now where everything happens inside the box. Yeah, and for me, I'm in a spot where I like the idea of being mobile and flexible.
Yep.
And it's like whenever I had a hit or a hit of an idea, or I know I can quickly kind of like just sketch it down and put together like something that can be worked on later. Yeah. So the ease of getting things done and the flexibility and the mobile aspect of it is the thing that kind of like really make me. It's like for me, like I said lah, it's like laptop is the most vital equipment for me right now. Yep. Laptop and most probably a MIDI controller.
Yep.
For me, it's like the Akai MPK series are perfect.
Yeah.
It's a perfect companion, to go along. Yeah. So it's like whenever you have even an iPad, So it's like there are times like the first MCO, for example, and I practically we were boxed up, right? And then there was a bit of time where we got a little bit of the restrictions were eased a bit. Yep. So I get to kind of like drive out and just drive around the area for a bit. So what I did was I just drive around, find a spot. I plug my laptop literally and a MIDI controller inside the car, and I just started jamming, in the car.
just get out of the house.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man, yeah.
yeah. So like I said, like the idea of getting things done fast and the flexibility and the mobile aspect of it is
Yeah.
quite important lah. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you talk about, I would love to have an Avalon, or I would love to have like you said lah, SSL, but like
Yeah. We don't really need it to to create music nowadays, man. You don't
yeah,
really need it, lah. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
We're in a spot where sometimes like really great stuff, like, and the level of like plugins are just crazy nowadays.
Yeah. Are you following the Silicon M1s?
Not really lah.
Not really, is it? But from what the initial test and everything, it is the going to be the game changer lah, revolution lah, when it comes to music production. It just blows everything, even the top, whatever the top most powerful Intel processor chip now, it will just blow it away lah. But the only problem now is that the compatibility lah, with all the plugins,
All the plugins, yeah,
all that's going to
yep,
be an issue. Yeah. So
yep.
yeah, but from initial Tesla and reviews of what people have been doing, it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be in terms of the
The-
processing power.
I mean, like I'm not really I'm not really immersed into the current, like the latest news on M1, but I know it's a powerful thing lah. Actually, it has been on my mind. If I were to kind of like get the next setup, I would love to have an M1.
Yeah.
This it's but like you said lah, it's I don't want to be like too forward and then have that teething from initial teething problems of compatibility. Yeah.
This is because I've been trying to follow. It's really the first time ever in like 20 years where the question even popped up in my head. It's like, hey, if it's really going to be that big game changer, I might go with the Mac, So
Whoa!
if lah, but the problem is now, like mentioned lah, all the incompatibility.
Wow, this is big news, man. This is big news, guys.
Big news.
JD is
It's not
thinking
happening.
about jumping over.
It's just a question. That's all. Just to have a Mac machine.
Oh my god! All these years, I was like, JD, why do you just jump? But then again, I understand. It's like, because you're so entrenched and it's almost like an extension of your body already, like going around Cubase and PC.
Yeah, but it's not going to be really real problem lah. It's just because you already have Cubase. It's going to be the same anyway. It's just the engine.
The engine
underneath it lah. So that looks quite promising lah. That's the interesting thing lah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, thinking back now. Okay, let me move on to another question lah. Like thinking back over the 20 years, right, of being in music, what's from the production days, then when you moved to radio, and how about throughout those days, what's your proudest achievement lah? What's your proudest project?
In terms of, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I gotta say, like, definitely Pop Shuvit is one of, up there lah, for sure lah. It's I wouldn't have had it any other way. It's really like part and parcel of who I am. Things that we do, things that we did. Music that we made together. M and Danger is still my favorite album.
Wow, that's our personal favorite. Yeah.
I think apart from that, on my own, for some reason, if you notice, I really like working with vocalists. especially in the R&B, like ones I really admire people who can produce really like beautiful melodies.
Mm.
Um, I would say like until today, like things things that I do, or sorry, like the project that I did, Rough Age.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun, a lot of learnings and a lot of experience gained with those boys.
That was an experience, man. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was there for it as well.
yeah, a lot of experimentations, a lot of like crazy. Like I remember like one of the tracks, synchro sound.
Back then.
Synchro sound days. We wanted to add something to it, and I found like in the hallway of synchro sound there was a
Yes.
display of angklung.
Anglo.
And we literally took it off the display and played, and it made into the album.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but it is a real angklung. And then
Yes.
I remember AJ was there also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that you guys, we don't know how to play the angklung.
Yeah.
So, you just sample the note, right?
Yes.
You just sample one note, click, 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 and then okay,
And we piece
sample the
it
next
together.
note.
Yeah, that was fun. That is something that I will never forget. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
I think like Dayang No Faiza, I'm really proud of that. That was a simple, really beautiful song, Dayang Sayang Kamu.
Yeah.
And Dayang, in my book until today, is still one of the best, like if not the best, vocalist we have in Malaysia.
Definitely lah. Definitely one of the three lah, one of the goats lah. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, like she literally nailed that song in one take. Yeah.
Do you remember when she recorded that?
Oh, where or when?
Yeah, where?
Dayang Sayang Kamu was recorded next door. in I can't even remember the name of the studio.
Next door.
Yeah, Ahmad Idham's studio where.
Oh yeah. Excellent.
Yes, excellent studio.
Yeah.
And then we did a remix of it in 2105.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. I definitely
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I remember
that.
we had a remix of it that featured Caprice. Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot of stories, man.
I think we did.
And he's still in the news today in
Yeah.
2021. Oh boy.
It's all good. Boy made a name for himself. Good for him.
He did indeed, in fact, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's I mean like that will be like at the top there lah, and definitely like Pop Shuvit is, because all the collaborations, that's the thing that I kind of like really, for me, sets us apart from any of the other bands, because we just don't really stick to and confine ourselves to, you're a rap rock, you're a new metal band, or, we never really see ourselves as that. We've always been like, kind of like, okay, whatever, let's do whatever.
Whatever lah.
So, things that we did with Dabo, things that we did with Little Brothers, all the remixes.
Legacy.
Legacy.
Zion, who sadly we just found out 2 weeks ago, right? He just passed away.
Yeah, man.
So that's quite sad as well. But and Inspector Deck, man.
Inspector Deck.
Who else can claim that we've worked with Wu-Tang?
Yep. Definitely.
Think of it, man. Yeah.
Definitely, that's like there lah. Yeah, so many things, man. But those are the few that I will forever kind of like remember lah.
Sweet lah.
Yep.
Nice. All right, let's take it home, man. Let's go like the final countdown. I mean, if you're stranded on a desert island, what would be your top 3 records that you bring along with you? Top 3 albums lah.
I gotta say, it's like, is it to survive or to die?
I just be optimistic lah. Survive lah. Okay.
because that will
But
be
we
like
got
3 separate records that I'll bring, you know.
I know. So it's 3 different sets, is it? Okay. I don't want to find out the one that's to die lah. It's too dark, man, to go into that.
Well, I think for me is like the main 3 would be one would be I'm not sure whether you're familiar with the band. This band called Mew. It's a Danish band.
Mew, yeah.
Mew, yes. Their biggest track to date, that I mean, like all their tracks I love. Not a single one sounds, you know, every single bit, every single piece of music they made was really beautiful. I literally like one of those bands that, apart from Rage Against the Machine, that I can literally listen to the entire discography and I wouldn't skip a track. But there's this one particular track called Comforting Sounds.
Comforting Sounds.
Yeah, by Mew. Beautiful, beautiful track. You know, that's very kind of like never fail to really give you the goosebumps and kind of like really help put you in a place of peace, I would say. You know.
Awesome.
And second one would be, I think, Rudimental. This track called Not Giving In. Rudimental is a drum and bass UK outfit. It's just one of those really kind of like heavy bass, really like pumping rhythmic drum and bass, but also very uplifting. This track features John Newman or Sam Newton, I can't remember. But the vocals in there is just like, wow, really kind of like it's very uplifting, you know.
Yeah.
And the third one, I would say, Desert Island. Okay, Jules Gonzalez, Step Out. You would know this track from most probably The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's like the track goes like, if you watch the movie, you definitely will catch it lah.
Oh.
It's the time when the guy was skateboarding on the freaking Iceland.
What's the year what's the year of that album?
Jose Gonzalez. I'm not really good at remembering years lah. You know what? Let me just check real quick. Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah. And then we talk about the drum and bass, that record. What year would that be? Would that be when?
Okay, Jose Gonzalez is 2013.
Okay, right.
Rudimental. Oh.
Rudimentals.
What do you know? Also 2013.
Oh, during the same time.
And for the sake of it, let's just check New as well.
Fact check time.
Comforting Sound was released in 2000.
2000, all right.
Yep.
The Mule, Comforting Sounds.
Yep.
Yeah. So 2013, man. In 2013, drum and bass. I'm actually curious of what's the state. Is drum and bass still around?
To a certain extent, it is, and it has become sort of like macam a sub. A lot of the pop producers have kind of like put a certain part of elements. It has become a little bit like of a mainstream thing right now. So you hear a lot of like drum and bass breaks here and there, especially like the rolls, you know, in some of the pop stuff that we hear today. But in its entirety, like how it started, it's still there, but I wouldn't say the movement is as big as how it was before lah.
Yeah.
So it used to be jungle, it used to be like all sort of subgenres that are out of it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, trying to follow all the different styles and how music has evolved over the years, and 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 all that. Obviously, when we were doing our albums, drum and bass was really really big. It was a big influence. Here, old school rocker is drum and bass.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so many from
a lot.
Yeah, of drum and bass elements that we put into our stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We would sneak all of that in.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of wondering lah, where all this is now lah. I mean, there's so much stuff now. It's just impossible to follow lah. Too much.
I
too
stopped
much music.
Yeah, I stopped keeping track. It's just, for me, it's just whatever that is. I keep it simple lah. If it sounds good to my ears, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about screw lah, trap lah, chill dubstep, bro step, what step in, step out. I lost track. Seriously, I lost track.
Same. It can be really really overwhelming lah now.
Yeah.
Especially. Yeah. Oh, but again, I think back to what you said earlier though, because it's so easy, it's accessible. There's actually more good stuff that's happening right now. But we just enjoy whatever we can absorb lah.
Yep.
To try to just wrap your mind around, and to try and follow every single trend and style as a producer nowadays, it's just like, okay, it's impossible lah. It's too much stuff to absorb lah.
Exactly. And for me, it's not so much. I mean, like, unless I think for people like us who like our era, I think generally most probably will be.
Use the word lah. We're older lah. Sudah uncle.
Exactly. I'm sure there are kids out there somewhere in the bedroom that kind of like aspire. Okay, I just want to produce trap. Or, I just want to produce the subgenre of God knows what it's called. And because it has a certain dynamic and you only use 808 saturated at this level, okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good. But for me, I'm in a spot right now. It's like, it sounds good, guys.
Yeah. And then obviously, I mean, sometimes with being a producer, the pressure of being expected to continuously perform and deliver and all that. But face to fact lah, I mean, if the labels want something like what the kids dig nowadays, just go and look for just go and look for, there's so many younger producers out there lah.
Yep.
Nowadays, so I obviously, I kind of sort of let that pressure go, because there was, earlier there was, I would say maybe a few years back, I had that pressure.
Yep.
It's like, oh wow, all these younger kids, newer producers all coming up, and wow, getting to work with all these things, all these projects, which like, I wish I had done that. But then it's like, hey, we've had our time lah.
Exactly.
It's no big deal. Just hand it over to a new generation to to bear the torch and just carry it and take Malaysian music further to the next level lah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I still get to work with projects that I love, which I do mostly a lot more band oriented stuff. There's still actually a lot of it going on.
Yep.
So yeah, I didn't feel the need. Don't know whether you feel that same pressure as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. I feel you. I feel it too. But I think you made the right call. I did as well. But for me, it's more of like, what's important is knowing I would like to try and understand. That's me.
Yep.
I would like to try and understand. So I would like to try, okay, why is this genre is called so? What makes it different? So that I will, I will have the knowledge to actually differentiate if I need to, but doesn't necessarily mean I like it or, I'm in favor of it or I can do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't guarantee that I can do it, But okay, I just kind of like trying to okay lah, I understand lah. I mean, to be honest, like, I actually like uh very recent, like last month, I think, I actually signed up for a personal tutoring with one of, like, one of one of the local kid, this guy named Jason Huang,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
Sabahan.
yeah. I've spoke to Jason before. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I heard some of his stuff, and I wanted to really learn how he got, or what's the thinking behind it, and how he actually got this type of mix and dynamics, and so I actually, like, call him up and say, it's like, oh, it's so nice, you know what, I'll spend a session with you, I'll go through, and I actually learned a lot of things. Seriously, I might not use it. I might not, might not be my style or whatever. But hey, I learned a lot of things, on why, like, certain things are, they're like, this drum sounds fat and well saturated and it hits hard because I put this. I have a chain of, like, same plugins, but it's 7 in a stack, back to back to back, and I don't, and there was no tweaking, it was just it was just literally putting that was like one of the things that got me, like, for real, really, you know but when I tried, yeah, it does, and it achieved that very unique, I'm sure that whoever did it, it was stumbled upon by an accident, but for some reason that worked, it's like, oh, I learned a lot of new things, that was so good.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. He's awesome, man. I obviously first heard about him when he won the engineers
Ah,
competition. It was
yes.
like, hey, who is this guy? Who is this kid, man? It was like, lah, we all engineers producer. Oh, we gotta go and check out lah. Hey, who is this? You know, who is this? Who is this? Who is this guy? Who is this kid? But
Yeah.
but he has been incredible. I think he's working on a lot of stuff right now. A lot of
Yep.
folks are actually going to him to
Yep.
mix a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think what some of like a lot of maybe Def Jam C stuff
Yep.
would work on that,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep. He worked on, I think, recently, Ciao by Joe.
Joe, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he
Joe
did.
single,
He mixed
yeah.
Ciao.
Mm.
In fact, I have a track coming up that I'm working together with Farid, one of the K-Click boys.
Mm-hmm.
That is gonna be, not gonna be. It's actually done. That is mixed by him, by Jason. So it's
It's done. Is it recorded? Vocal all also done already.
Yep, yep,
Ah, okay,
yeah.
cool.
It's all remote, so it's just new new normal, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah,
Things to look forward to.
yeah,
I didn't know you were working on stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I mean, like, I've always got like a bag of beats, catalog of music that I just pass around whenever, you know. Um, it's and then, like, Farid really liked one of it, and he started jamming on it, you know. And then one thing led to another. It was a very smooth, fast kind of like flow, and that's how I kind of like jump. That really changed the way I look at things as well. And then I realized that's when I say it's like, a lot of it is like, I get a better understanding on what does it mean to actually catch the vibe
In the moment, right?
in the moment.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and it's refreshing.
Yeah. I Well, I like how you kind of brought that round, lah. Brought it full circle to what you spoke at the start when we talked about it. So yeah, is if there's one takeaway, I guess, is that we really need to learn to live in the moment, when it
Yep.
comes to our music, and not be too, how to say, what, don't overthink things lah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't overanalyze.
don't
Sometimes
overanalyze.
that's the crux of
Mm.
having years of experience and kind of like knowing the ins and outs. It's almost what do you call that? Um,
Counterintuitive. It's hard.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. It's counterintuitive to what all the years have taught us. You see, to everything to be super analyzed and
Yep.
everything. Sometimes you just gotta let it be and let it go.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah. What else? All right. Before I wrap this up, you want to tell us what you've been up to?
The
I know some of the things you've been up to, but those folks who are watching this may not know lah. So you
yeah.
want to share your
So
projects? The K-Click
well,
one is one, the track,
yep. Yep. I'm
and
excited
also
about that. So that should
yeah,
come out like anytime soon. With Farid, always wanted to work with him. This kid is really, really, KK is one of the biggest rap group in the country right now,
yep,
and they're super talented. And apart from that, not many, I think, know that me and AJ started a project as well. So we started this project called Lagu Bubu Lala, which is
totally.
totally like off tangent of whatever that we have done before, in
Yes,
our
yeah,
musical life.
yeah,
So we're out to actually refresh and reinvent and write new catalogs of nursery rhymes
yep.
for
You heard it there,
kids.
folks. These are kids. Uh, these are all 100% original, and in BM,
Yes,
right? Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's something that also started during the lockdown, the MCO. We realized, I have Cinta, and Cinta spends. You can't run away from it, right?
Yep.
At one point of time, as much as you would like to let your kids stay away from screen, but you will somehow rather they will end up watching, the screen, right? And you have all the things on YouTube and whatnot, and it kind of like just sparked me, you know. It helps, to a certain extent. If you realize, our kids nowadays learn a lot faster. They grow up a lot faster. They mature a lot faster.
Oh
They
yeah.
pick up, I mean, like, we can barely, I don't know, because we don't have recollection of when the earliest we could say ABC, right? But, like my personal experience, my kid can literally say, like, recite the entire ABC and then reverse it, you know, less than a year old, you know. And it's all
Yeah.
because of, being conditioned by the screen.
Yeah.
Lah.
Yeah.
So that kind of like sparks the idea is like, hey, I realize there's not many alternatives, especially in DM, in that space, the like really good ones. So I call up AJ and say, hey, we could try, we have the know-how, we have the equipment, why not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how Lagu Bobola came about lah. And then we got some fans, yeah, to help us with the visuals, so we started animating it,
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yep. Yep. So
Mm.
the um obviously the channel, the page and all that is up. You can search for that. I'll leave it down in the description also, so that people can check it out and link and watch the videos and the content as well. It's things are gonna. I mean, there's more in store, right? Coming.
Yep. We
Yeah.
definitely have more in stores. We are definitely currently working on producing. We're developing a 21 minutes episodes, like a full on pilot episode that have like, we're also producing like learning educational segments to go along with the original nursery rhymes. And we are also going to kind of like reimagine the all the familiar nursery rhymes as well, not just the original ones.
Right. Right.
But we are also going to try and reimagine the original, sorry, the public domain songs, the nursery rhymes,
Right.
your
Right.
Baba Black Sheep, your Burung Kakak Tua and whatnot. But we are going to refresh it. Imagine you hear like Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars, like entirely in a traditional Malay instrumentation.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
things
gonna
like
be
that.
so cool, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. So cool, man.
it's exciting
So
lah.
yeah. So I guess parents out there with all that, this is definitely something that they should check out. Check out, Lagu Bubu Lala on YouTube, on all the all the platforms lah, right?
Yep.
Like it will be I one thing lah, kids songs and all that will be the savior of for a lot of the keep a lot of parents sanity lah. At least
Yep,
it
yep,
helps
yep,
to
yep.
give get your kids but at the same time, right, but at the same time learn, get an
Yep,
education, yeah, and
yep,
learn
yep,
learn their ABC, learn their numbers and all that, yeah.
yep, yep. And
So,
get accustomed to a certain extent, get accustomed to bahasa Malaysia also lah, you know. Yeah. I mean like, like I speak mostly English at home, right? But this is something that, even when I check with my friends or, even if you speak Chinese or if you're a Chinese household or if you're in, Tamil household or, mixed language household, right?
yep.
There will be a point in time where if you have a kid, your kid will sound like they were born in the UK,
Oh
or
yeah.
in the US, you know.
uh,
And this is because the content that they consume. So,
yeah,
what we're trying to do here is okay, if they can absorb that, then we should have more alternatives so that they can also absorb
yeah,
our mother
that's
tongue, right?
100%, man, that's right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, can't imagine then when your kid goes up with with a
Yeah.
British accent, something like that. It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of YouTube and all
Yeah,
that, man,
man.
for all our kids, man. So,
Yep.
I mean, I think that's a cool thing. That's an awesome thing because it's something that, it's an investment of time and for our future lah, for our
Yep.
kids lah.
Yeah. I tell you, bro, it's not as easy as it sounds.
Oh yeah, I think
And you thought
I
writing nursery rhymes is easy. Oh my god.
yeah. I mean, I've seen the amount of time that you and AJ spend in Studio B, working on stuff. But that is only here, see?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa. But it's fun, like it's fun.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm
definitely
loving it.
definitely fun. Yeah, I obviously I've mixed some of the few the couple of ones that are out now,
Yep.
and that's super fun as well. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, all the best, man, for Bubu Lala, for you and AJ on this. Hopefully, big things will come lah. Yeah,
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hey,
Yeah.
any I mean, it's coming up to like, wow, 11:30 already.
Yeah, man.
Just
When we
time,
talk, we can talk for hours, bro.
time flies lah. Yeah. Is there anything that you wanna close off with? Anything that you wanna let people know besides what we mentioned already?
Um, I pretty much, I think we've spoke about everything. I think for anyone who's want to kind of like get into music, there'll be no better time than now because it's so easy. Everything is so accessible. Anyone can be a musician nowadays. You don't really need to have like. Well, I don't have a proper musical education background, not but I think with grit and perseverance, there's no better time than now, lah. But just be prepared to give like 150%, and don't expect anything back in return because it literally is how things are. Um, it and I think if there's anything, I just hope that things will get better soon, lah.
Yep.
Yeah, because our industry, I mean, we're not the most conducive creative. We don't have the most conducive creative industry to begin with.
Yep.
Music or any other creative areas, performances and whatnot. But it's just been, I know it has been really hard for a lot of people, lah.
Yep.
If there's anything, I say like, don't give up. Keep your chin up. uh, things will get better. It won't get any easier sooner, but you know, we'll get through this together, lah. You know, and hopefully, what comes out of this, right? That we all as a collective, and especially that people out there who's in power, right, realize, you know, that some of the cracks or the shortcomings that can be improved, or you know, it's. I just hope that actions are taken, you know, proper actions are taken to kind of like really first piece the broken industry together, you know, let us work together and heal the industry, you know, get it to where the on the recovery path together, and then really kind of like think about how we can really make it flourish lah, you know, in the truest sense, you know.
Okay, saya sokong Yang Berhormat. Saya sokong YB.
It's all words, bro. It's all words and hopes. Yeah.
Alright lah.
We'll get there lah.
Thank you so much, DJ Uno.
Hey, all good, bro. It's always a pleasure, man.
Thank you for talking with me. How do people reach you? Social media.
Yeah, I mean, you can stalk me if you want. I turn on my social media whenever I want, and I turn it off whenever I want to nowadays as well. It's Uno Pop Shuvit.
Yep.
You can search for it on Facebook, on Instagram. I have a TikTok account that I haven't really done anything. You know, it's just too much work, and I guess like my phone is not powerful enough to edit the video because I get frustrated. You know, it's always the case, bro. Even like with reels, right? You know, it's like you try to do something, it just takes too much work, and then it gets hanged like halfway, and after that, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah. So people can look for you, Uno Pop Shuvit, the one and only. Thank you so much, my friend, my brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah.
Really appreciate the time.
See you and the rest of the guys sooner,
Yeah, man.
hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yep, man. Take care, bro.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Stay safe.